Hello students, myself Miss Priyanka Chaudhary from Rayat Shikshan Sanstha's RBNB College, Srirampur. Today we are going to study 11th Science Physics chapter number 2, that is mathematical methods. So in this mathematical methods we are going to study different mathematical tools which are required to understand the basic concept of physics of 11th science. So these mathematical tools basically consist of vector analysis. So in this chapter we are going to study about the vector analysis which is required to understand the basic concept in the physics. So now in vector analysis, in our first chapter of physics, that is units and measurements, we have studied different physical quantities. Then we are distinguished these physical quantities into fundamental quantities and derived quantities. Then we have studied different units of these quantities. Now these physical quantities are basically divided into scalars and vectors. So the physical quantities are divided into scalars and vectors. So now these scalars and vectors, these are nothing but the physical quantities, but in case of scalars we are representing the physical quantities in its magnitude only, and in case of vectors we are representing the physical quantity in magnitude as well as its direction. So suppose we will consider one example. A man is walking from some distance. Then if you have tail to measure the distance, then we can measure the distance of that man starting from the location to the ending of the location. This gives us the magnitude of the distance. But suppose if we have to decide the location or the position of that man, then we have to consider the direction as well. So in this case we required vectors to decide the direction of any object which is in motion or which is in moving in case of physics. So this is the need of mathematical methods or vector analysis, that we should require direction in some cases. So we required magnitude as well as direction which are given by the vector quantities. So now we will study the definitions of scalars and vectors and different examples of scalars and vectors one by one. So now first is scalars. So the physical quantities which can be described by its magnitude only are called scalars. So, this is the definition of the scalar. The physical quantities which can be described by its magnitude only are called scalars. So, now example of this is, suppose we have to measure length of any object. Then we are measuring the length of any object by using scale. Then suppose length of the object is 2 meter. Then in this 2 meter, 2 is a number and meter is its unit. That is, a number followed by its unit tells us the object is 2 times more than the standard unit of 1 meter for a length. This is the meaning of 2 meter. So, while measuring the length, we are measuring only its magnitude or number. We are not considering the direction while measuring the length. If we have measured length from left side or right side of the same object, then our answer is same. So, this length is a scalar quantity. So, length is a scalar quantity. Similarly, if we are measuring temperature of an object, then in this case also we are considering the magnitude only. So, temperature is also a scalar quantity. Similarly, if we are measuring the time, then time is also a scalar quantity. So, these are the quantities in which we are considering only its magnitude, not direction. All that quantities are belong to the scalars or scalar quantity. Now, the second physical quantity which we are studying basically in this chapter is vector. So, now what are these vectors? We will study. So, the definition of vectors is the physical quantities which can be described by magnitude as well as direction are called vectors. So, this is the definition of vectors. The physical quantities which can be described by its magnitude as well as direction are called vectors. So, now what are the examples of vectors? So, example of vectors are velocity. So, when we are considering velocity of any object, we are considered its magnitude as well as the direction of that object. So velocity is a vector quantity. Similarly, acceleration. So this acceleration is nothing but it is the rate of change of velocity. So velocity is a vector. Similarly, acceleration is also a vector quantity. Then force. So force is also a vector quantity. So all the physical quantities which can be described by magnitude as well as its direction, all that physical quantities are vectors. So this is about the vectors. Now we will study how vectors are represented. So to represent a vector, so we are considering that this is a vector. So this vector is suppose PQ. So this vector is represented by a directed line segment or arrowhead. So this is a directed line segment. Directed line segment means this line segment shows the direction of that vector or direction of that physical quantity. So it is a directed line segment or it is shown by the arrow. So this is the representation of a vector. Now this P is called the starting point of a vector, or it is also called as tail of a vector. So P is starting point of vector, or this P is also called as tail of vector. Then this Q is the end point of vector, so this end point is shown by the arrowhead. So this point is also called as head of vector. So this is the general representation of a vector. So vector PQ is represented by, so PQ, and here is arrow is shown which shows the direction of this vector or direction of this physical quantity. This is a starting point of vector or tail. This is a end point of vector or head of vector, and this arrow shows this is a vector quantity. So it is a vector PQ or PQ bar, like that. So now this is the general representation of a vector. Also the vectors can be represented by a single letter also. Suppose x bar is a vector, or we can say a bar is also a vector. Then if we have to represent the magnitude of this vector, then the magnitude of the vector is represented by mod of x bar. It is represented by mod of x bar is nothing but magnitude of vector, that is x, that means the number or value of that physical quantity. So this is about the general representation of a vector. Now in case of vectors, there are some types of vectors. So we will study the types of vectors one by one. vectors, the first type of vector is a zero vector. So the zero vector means a vector which have magnitude is 0, then this vector is called a zero vector. The vector which can be described by the magnitude as 0, then this type of vectors are called zero vector, and zero vector are represented by 0 bar. So there are some examples of these zero vectors. So first example is the velocity vector of a stationary particle. The velocity vector of a stationary particle is a zero vector. Now what is the meaning of this? A particle is stationary. That means we can say particle is not moving or it is at rest. So the velocity vector, if we have find of the stationary particle, then it should be a 0. Because the velocity means it is nothing but rate of change of displacement. So if particle is stationary, that means if we have find the velocity, that is rate of change of displacement of that particle per unit time, then it should be 0. So we can say the velocity vector of a stationary particle has magnitude 0, so it is a zero vector. Similarly, second example we can consider as the acceleration vector of an object moving with uniform velocity. So now this is also a zero vector. So now consider this. Suppose there is one object which is moving with uniform velocity. That means velocity is constant or same throughout its movement. So if we have find the acceleration of this object, then in this case acceleration is nothing but rate of change of velocity. So if velocity is uniform, then there is no change of velocity. That means the acceleration of that object comes to be 0. So it is also a zero vector, acceleration vector of an object moving with uniform velocity. So these are two examples of a zero vector, and zero vector is represented by 0 bar. This is the first type of vector. Now we will study the second type of vector. So the second type of vector is resultant vector. Second type of vector is resultant vector. So now resultant vector means, suppose there are two or more vectors. There are two or more vectors. Then the resultant vector is nothing but it is the resultant of that two or more vectors. It gives the resultant value of that vectors which are moving in that with that object like that. So this is nothing but the resultant vector. So in this case of resultant vector, this is one vector, this is another vector. So if these two vectors are moving, then resultant of these two vectors is a single vector which gives the resultant effect of these two vectors. So this is the second type of vector, that is resultant vector. Then the next, that is third type of vector is negative vector, or it is also called as opposite vector. So now negative vector means a vector, this is a one vector which is moving in this direction. Then we have another vector which is moving in the opposite direction of first vector. Means if this first vector is moving in positive direction, then we can say this second vector is moving into the negative direction opposite to the first vector. So this is nothing but the negative vector. So negative vector is a first vector, suppose A bar, then second vector is denoted by B bar. Then these two vectors have same magnitude, but these two vectors have opposite direction. So these are called negative vectors, that is having same magnitude but opposite direction. This is the third type of vector, that is negative vector. Then the next type of vector is equal vector. So now equal vector means the vectors which have same magnitude as well as direction. The vectors which have same magnitude as well as direction, then this type of vectors are called equal vectors. So this is a one vector, this is the second vector. So now these two vectors have same magnitude as well as these two vectors have same direction. Then we can say these two vectors are equal vectors. So this is about the fourth type of vector, that is equal vector. Then the next type of vector is next type of vector is position vector. So position vector means a vector which gives position of a vector which gives the position of that particular vector with respect to origin of the given coordinate system. If we are using two coordinate system, that means xy axis, or we may use in xyz axis, 3-dimension axis. So a vector which gives the position of that vector with respect to the origin is called position vector. So if we draw the diagram for position vector, then it is like that. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is P, it is R bar, so this is origin O. So now this P is nothing but it is a position vector. So OP bar is equal to the R bar. So R bar is a position vector of this vector OP. This gives the position of this vector with this coordinate system and origin O. So this is about the position vector. Then the next type of vector that we are going to study is unit vector. So next point that we are going to study is unit vector. So a vector having unit magnitude in a given direction a vector having unit magnitude in a given direction, then that vector is called unit vector. Then it is called unit vector. So suppose m bar is a vector having unit magnitude in the particular direction, then the unit vector of m bar is denoted by um cap. So this is called unit vector of vector m bar, and it is given by m bar divided by mod of m bar. That means m bar is a non-zero vector, so its unit vector is given by the vector divided by the magnitude of that vector. So this is the representation of any unit vector. Now suppose we have ijk. So we have I, j, k are unit vectors along x, y, z axis respectively. So I is a unit vector along x axis, j cap is the unit vector along y axis, and k is the unit vector along z axis. So now these unit vectors can be represented by using the same method, that is, so unit vector of this x axis is ux cap. Similarly for y axis uy cap. Similarly for z axis uz cap. So now these unit vectors are shown by ijk. That is, this ux cap is nothing but I cap, uy is nothing but unit vector j, similarly uz is nothing but unit vector k. Now if we have to represent these unit vectors, then we can represent these unit vectors by using the formula. So similarly for m bar we have represented, so here we can represent I is a unit vector along x axis, then j is the unit vector along y axis, similarly k is the unit vector along z axis. So this is the representation of unit vectors along x, y, z axis. So these are the total 6 types of the vectors. So we have studied these 6 types of vectors. In next lecture we are going to study different operations on vectors. So thank you very much.